Hi, Bhakta Sir. So I wanted to show an example of what I would imagine is the best way to create the DLMs for teaching new material using the textbook. Because I feel like you're working very, very hard to make these long DLMs when it could be a little more simple. And this doesn't mean I think negative or that I don't appreciate your work. I just want it to be easier for you and make it very clear what we're expecting. So I don't have the book pages for fractions, which is what you had for distribution 7. So I'm going to use chapter 1, which was distribution 6. I think you already covered this. So if I'm looking at the textbook page for set, the first 3 numbers are review from last year. So I would put that the topic is set. And then for learning activities, for number 1, the do now, I would say looking back numbers 1 through 3, because they don't really need to learn anything to do those. It's things that they learned last year. Okay, so then there's 3 sections here. There's 1.1, which is just defining a set, 1.2, talking about members of a set, and then 1.3, talking about set notation. So then what you have to do is you're like, okay, I want the kids to read this information in the textbook. So let's see what 1.1 is about. It's about a collection of objects. It's called a set. It's a collection of odd numbers less than 10. It includes numbers, okay, blah, blah, blah. So it's like a definition. Then it talks about members of a set and then how you denote a set. So now we have this exercise section 1.1. So if W equals bracket 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and E equals bracket 2, 4, 6, 8, tell and write true or false for the following statements. So in order to do this exercise, they need to have read section 1.3. So what I'm going to say is I'm going to say, okay, after you do the do now, read sections 1.1 to 1.3, and then do exercises section A. And then you can write it up here if you want, or what you could do is you could highlight all these and put them down here for day 1, and then name the textbook activities here. So up here you could have the do now, and then textbook activities. And then you have the directions down here. So that way you're not typing all of this information about sets into the DLM, because that's so much work for you. What you also can do, like let's say in the DLM, you have additional information that you want to add. So you're like, okay, I really want to make sure that the kids see this information. So maybe I'm going to take a little screenshot, and then I'm going to put the picture in here. And then I'm going to put a little note about why this is important. So like, remember, sets are even numbers. Oh, remember, This is a set of even numbers. There can be no odd numbers in the set. So, because like you're not teaching the kids in real life, but there are things that you might say as a teacher when you're teaching that you won't have the chance to because you're not seeing the kids. So if there's anything like that, you can put those notes in here. So if there's any images or notes that you want to put, that's a really good place to put them. But really, all you need to do when you're making these DLMs is open up the textbook, look at the exercises, look at what they need to know in order to do the exercises, and then assign them those activities. So what you have to decide is how much you want to assign per day. Like this do now for sets is very, very short. It would probably only take them like 5 minutes. It's maybe going to take 7 minutes to read that. And then maybe another 10 minutes to do the exercises. So you're looking at like, I don't know, 30-ish minutes of work. And you could just stop there. And then you could pick up a new topic on day 2. What you want to also do is make a short quiz at the end of every week so that students can review everything they learned. So on day 6, maybe they're still reading about sets. And so maybe you have a do now and some textbook activities. And then you have the quiz. And then you have check answers to quiz. Because for the quiz, you really want to include an answer key so that the kids know if what they did is right. Now, I know for class 6, I think the answers are in the back, which is good because then the kids can always be checking themselves. But make a little quiz for them at the end of the week, and then they can check themselves again. So really, the point of this video is just, because I can't see you in person, to just explain what we're expecting. So it should just be very, very simple. The DLM that you made for class 6, this distribution, has so much great information in it, but it's so long. It's too long to be printed. And it also has all this information that's probably already in the textbook. So instead of giving them a bunch of multiplication problems on this worksheet, you could probably just write, do the exercises on page 17, or whatever the page number is. We want the DLMs to be very, very simple and not too much work for you, because if you make 20 pages for all your classes, that's like 100 pages of text that you're preparing, and that's too much. So let me know if you have any questions. I hope that this was helpful, explaining it in words and not over Messenger. And yeah, just message me if you have any questions. Thanks, sir.